All right. So, hi, good evening, Sushi. Welcome to our class, LMS BIP Cambridge class. Okay. So, again, I'll be your teacher for this evening, Miss Cha of Alaska English. Before we proceed to the lesson, can I ask, how are you tonight?
I'm hungry.
Oh, no. Me too. All right. Can you, how about, can you give me an update? What's the weather like right now in Japan? What's the weather? Or how's the weather?
Is
It's
cool.
it's hot. Did you say hot? It's
It's
hot.
cool.
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 Cool. Oh, I see. What about is it cloudy? Is it windy, rainy, sunny?
Proud. Proud.
Cloudy and cool. Oh, no. So that's the time that you want to go to sleep, right? All right. Anyway, so moving into here, let's see if you're still updated. All right. Can you give me an update? What is today's date? Mm. What is today's date? It's October. What is today's date? October
Today is October 5th.
5th. Good. October 5th, 2023. All right. So good. So that's it for our little chit chat about little update. So as you can see, we ended up in I give you this activity we're in. We're going to talk about quantifiers. Okay. So first, maybe you're wondering, teacher, what do we mean by quantifiers? Okay. So quantifiers, they are the phrases that we use, all right, in able to indicate quantity. Now, teacher, then what is quantity? So the word that we have right there is quantity right there. So when you say quantity, it talks about a lot of things. Quantity talks about the number, the amount of something. So it could be the size, um, it could be the weight or number of something. Okay. So that's what we meant when we talk about quantity. Um, if I'm not mistaken, according to the Cambridge Dictionary, it is translated as so is it so luong? Is that how you say it? All right. So that's what we meant by quantity. All right. Yeah. Thank you, AC. All right. So our AC, you can have a look on our chat box. All right. So now, what we're going to talk about in this one, always remember when I reminded you, whenever you are studying about grammar, there are three things that you need to consider. The first one is affirmative. In English, when you say affirmative, it means positive sentence. That is an ordinary sentence. I am I am a woman, you are a boy, you are a student, all right? She is your mom. So positive sentence. But when we say negative, the only thing to remember is we have the word not, right? I am not your mother. You are not in Vietnam, right? So you just simply add the word not and it's already in negative form. Lastly, we have here the what we called, all right? So again, maybe you're going to encounter them in some other contexts, okay? So affirmative or positive sentences. All right. So negative sentence. All right. Or maybe you're going to encounter them in some other book. They call that negation. So that is negative. All right. On the other hand, when we say questions, in some other book, you might encounter them as the word interrogative. Okay, interrogative form, meaning that is the question form. Okay, Now, I have here this one. We are going to talk about this, the following. So I want Sushi to read the following. Sushi, I'll make it bigger for you. All right. Can you see my screen? Okay. I want you to read this one. Kindly read.
We
We
use you much, many, a lot of, a where, few,
and a few
and a few,
and a little
and a little to talk about quality,
quantity.
quantity. We
Yeah.
use a uh, lot to uh, mean,
To mean
mean a
large,
large quantity. We use them in
affirmative
affirmative
sentences.
and ex
Except
except in from
formal
we written English where we can use for example a, a
a large.
large number of we
We've got
we've caught a lot of caf- cafes coffees in our town.
all right. So you're correct. This is cafe. When you say cafe, cafe or coffee shop, right? Cafes. We normally use
We normally use much and many in near
negative
the death
sentences.
sentences and question. She hasn't got much money. Do you watch many
Films.
films? How much milk do you drink?
Okay, all right. So again, it says in here we normally use much and many in negative and question form. So negative, take a look. She hasn't got, so has not. So that is negative. And then it says in here questions or interrogative. Do you watch many films? How much milk do you drink? Okay, right? So how about in this one? What's the difference between a lot of or lots of? All right, can you read it for teacher? We use a lot of,
We use a lot of with a
countable,
countable and uncountable
countable
no
nouns.
nouns. We use singular ver- verb with uncountable
Nouns and
nouns and popular
plural.
plural uh,
Verbs.
verbs with countable uh, nouns.
Okay, so here, take a look.
So
There's lots of food to eat.
that's
There, all right, there are a lot of pictures in this book. All right, after you read this one, teacher is going to explain what's the difference between uncountable and countable nouns to you. So let's finish this one first. In other contexts also, if you're going to have a look, or if you're going to ask teacher, teacher, when do we use a lot of and when do we use lots of? Because they might feel confusing. All right. So in the first one, let's talk about a lot of first. So all right. So in here, a lot of. A lot of, it is used in positive. Let's put it in here. Use in positive, negative, negative, and um, questions. All right. So all right. So in here, mm, this one also, when you talk about here, a lot of can be used for, it can be used in uncountable nouns and countable nouns to indicate large quantity. All right. So we use a lot of in positive negative and questions. And it can be used in uncountable and countable nouns to indicate large quantity. So here, there's a lot of food, all right? A lot of pictures in this book. So meaning that is large quantity. Large in this one, we are not referring to large as in the size. When we say large quantity, we are referring into many, okay? The same with if you could still remember when we talk about family, we could also describe family as small and big. But in here, we are not referring to the size, right? We are referring to the number of people in a family. So it's the same thing with the use of a lot of, right? So we are using them in large quantity, meaning many, a lot, okay? So now, how about in this one? How can you differentiate when do we use a little and a few? Hmm. Can you read this one? We use a little.
We do a little and a few to mean a small
Quantity.
quantity. We use them in a
Affirmative.
affirmative
Sentences.
sentences and uh, request
Request.
request requests are offered. I need a little help with my homework. How you like? No, how would
Would
you
you
like
like
a few
chips?
tips?
All right. So in here, we use a little and a few to mean a small quantity. So take note if it's uh when we are referring into larger quantity, we use a lot of or lots of, right? Can be used both in uncountable and countable nouns. On the other hand, when we say a little and a few, this might be a little different because we are referring into small quantity. All right. Again, small stands for the number, not for the size. Okay. So meaning not a lot. Okay. So a few. So we are using a little referring to uncountable nouns and a few to countable nouns. So in here, also with this one, take note, we can sometimes use quantifiers without nouns when it is clear what we mean. So is there much bread left? No, not much. Okay, so that is for small quantity. So in here, how many people were at the concert? So the answer here is a lot. Okay. So how about in this one? Let's give it a try. How can you answer the following question? Let's see. You're going to choose which do you think is the correct answer. For number one,
There is there there are a lot of
there
There, there are.
Okay, for this one, for number one, there is. So there is a lot of lemonade in your fridge. Teacher, but I can count the lemon. But take note when we say lemonade, lemonade is a juice, right? Lemonade is lemon juice. And
Yeah.
we all know that anything that it's in liquid form that is considered uncountable. So enable for you to not to get confused, I have here a chart. Give me a second.
Uh, there is there there is a lot of
So this month.
All right, sorry. So I'm just going to show you this chart, just a review a little bit. Okay? Take a look at this one. So countable and uncountable nouns. All right. So when we talk about countable and uncountable nouns, it's easy to remember, Sushi. When you say something is countable, all right, nouns we can count. Simply, we can count them, a quantity.
Nào có thể đếm được.
And whenever we are referring into countable that we can count, referring to only one, mot, right? And countable, we might either use a or an, right? Depending on what follows the letter. Of course, if it's a consonant and an if it's a vowel sound. Like this one, 1, 3. All right, 2, 3. So we can count. But
Thì
in here, right, indicating a quantity as what I've said, a pencil, meaning it's only one. 10 pencils. So that is countable. So use a singular or plural verb. Take note, the book is, because it's only one. The books are old. So meaning whenever we are referring into the countable nouns, all right, it is the same thing. It matches the verb and the noun, right? So this one, on the other hand, uncountable nouns, it has the prefix an.
đếm được.
All right, the prefix an, it means not. All right, not countable. Teacher, what do you mean by not countable? Nouns we cannot count have only one form. Take note, no plural. All right. So this one, rain. We could say rain, but we don't say rains. We cannot use a, an, or a number whenever we are referring to uncountable nouns. We don't say, teacher, I eat a rice. No, grammatically wrong. I eat rice. Two rice. No, that is uncountable. Always use, take note, always use a singular verb. This is what happened with your lemonade a while ago. Sugar is sweet. The weather here is great. Okay, so you cannot count the weather, right? That is countable. You cannot count the sugar. That is uncountable. So if you're going to ask, Miss Cha, how can I know if an object is countable or not? So there are things that we can consider. So like for this one, take note of this, Sushi. So the first one, we could say something is uncountable if it has something to do with, you say abstract. Abstract
abstract
ideas.
ideas.
All right. So abstract ideas have no physical existence, meaning something that we cannot see, but we can feel, right? Refers to ideas, emotions, and concepts that you cannot see or touch, okay? Example, love freedom, education, luck, health, beauty, music, thunder. All right. So first rule in uncountable, okay? Abstract ideas, okay? Next. So she number 2,
Question and
liquids,
liquids and
gases.
gases.
All right. Sushi, this time around, what do we mean by liquids? Anything that is in water form. Uwong, right? Is it chatlong? All right. So we have you can count the container it is in, but not the liquid or gas.
Số nhiều con đến được.
So the same with this one, 2 bottles of milk. So we cannot count the milk, but we are using quantifier, which is the bottle. We can count the bottle. So that's why we say
Đến
two
thấy trước.
bottles of milk. So there's a lot,
Ngày
right?
thấy
It could be water, milk, wine, oil, coffee, rain, soup, air, smoke, blood, juice, or fog. Those are liquids and gases. And also, whenever you are referring into here, as you can see, coffee, maybe you can hear people conversing, oh, I have 2 coffee. All right. It's not literally referring to the coffee, but you are referring to how many cups of coffee. So you are using the quantifier cup. Cup.
đến cái độ chứa đó.
Okay. So she this one, number 3,
Made
made of
made of small
smaller,
smaller
smaller,
parts.
smaller parts. Okay. Something that is made of smaller parts, though it is considered as a whole. So here, the sugar, you cannot count the sugar, right? Sugar, rice, salt, sand, flour, dirt, dust, traffic, grass, spaghetti. So they are made of smaller parts, so we cannot count them. The same with cup of coffee. We are using the quantifier. 2 teaspoons of sugar, 2 cups of sugar, 10 cups of 10 cups of rice. So we are using the quantifiers. Okay. Another one, if we are referring into materials. So can you read what is the reason? Kindly read, Sushi. Nouns that may
Nouns that nouns that say what something is
something
made of are no
Nó
normally
uncountable.
uncountable no.
All right. Material, meaning what is something, all right, um, made of something, all right. Vatliu, all right. Chatliu. Thank you, AZ. So we have here the wood, glass, paper, ice, gold, silver, iron, cotton,
dạ.
wool, steel.
Đủ
All
chín
right.
giấy.
My shirt is cotton. Cotton is the material used. Cotton is, take note, cotton is. So because remember, anything that is uncountable noun always takes singular verb. Okay? Right. So now, moving into here. So here, gold. Even though gold is a lot, but again, singular verb, that's why we use is. Gold is expensive. Okay? Another one. All right. So some food. Miss Cha, what do you mean by some food? Some food is uncountable. Teacher, can you elaborate the meaning of some food? Okay. So there are foods that are considered uncountable if, all right, if the food needs to be cut up or or eaten in smaller pieces. For example, the bread. We are cutting the bread, right? Or we are biting. So we are eating it in very small quantity. So here are some other example. Bread, fish, cheese, chocolate, meat, bacon, food, or ham. Okay? So the same thing, quantifiers, slices of bread. Okay? So we could say, teacher, I want 6 bread. No. But instead, you need to make use of quantifiers. Teacher, can I have 6 slices of bread? Okay, so we cannot directly put them in translation. We are using some quantifiers to make them correct. Okay, so another one for this, take a look. So be careful, there's another one. This is very tricky, Sushi. A lot of people are getting this mistake. All right, with the following uncountable nouns as they may be considered countable in other languages. Okay. So this one, maybe you're wondering, teacher, but I can count my money. It is countable. All right. So yes. All right. I explain why. You could say, I have 5 coins. Or you could say, I have $90. All right. So you are referring into the quantity or how much and all. But you cannot say, teacher, I have 5 monies. All right, that is grammatically wrong. So you could just say, I have a lot of money. Okay, so remember the quantifiers a while ago. Also, sushi, it has no, always takes singular verb, furniture, advice, work, news, information, luggage, and money. All right. Um, Teacher is going to send you this. So you have a review. Abstract ideas cannot touch. Made of smaller parts. Some food that can cut into small parts. Liquids and gases. Materials. All right. And some other that are considered confusing. Okay. So, how about if we continue this one? Now that we are having a recall regarding countable and uncountable, let's talk about this one. Again, number one, there is a lot of lemonade in your fridge. We are using is because lemonade is liquids, right? How about in number two?
Yeah. There are
There are. Okay, good. Read the complete sentence. There are
there are a lot of dirt, dirt, dirt,
dirty.
dust, sock in your bedroom.
Correct. How about in number three? This one we are using are, right? Because of socks. You can count the socks, right? So that is countable. How about in number three? A lot of their music
Is
that is abstract idea. You cannot touch music, right? So that is uncountable. And we take singular verb. You're doing great, Sushi. Number four.
most of famous footballs uh, drive drive drives.
All right. So sushi, footballers are also the football players. Footballers, British English. Football players, American English. Okay? Both of them are the same, just different in the use of English. So in here, what is your answer again? Sorry, I wasn't able to catch up. Lots of famous footballers drive or drives.
A drive.
Drive. Okay, correct. Footballers. So that is countable. How about in number 5?
There
So we're going to refer into kwakudon, right? Something in the past because of yesterday, homkwa, meaning it's already done. So we are referring to the rain. What can you say about the rain? Is it countable or not? Are you going to use was or were?
were were
Is rain. That is weather, meaning that is uncountable. Mm. So we're going to use
were
was. Okay.
there
There was lots of rain yesterday. Again, rain is considered uncountable, and uncountable takes singular verb. How about in number 6?
a lot of chil children
Children.
study English.
All right, good. Because of children. How about number 7?
A lot of information about computer are dif difficult to understand.
To understand. Mm. How about in number 8?
There is lot of kangaroo in
Mm.
Australia.
There is or there are. Take a look. Lots of kangaroos. Kangaroos is countable. Mm.
There are
There are. So by the way, this one in number 7, I think you misunderstood that you used the computer, but actually we are referring into this one. The answer in number 7 is. Teacher, why is? Oh, we are referring into this. A lot of information. Information that is an idea that is abstract, right? You cannot see or you cannot touch the information. So a lot of information about computers is difficult to understand. There are lots of kangaroos in Australia. How about in number 9? Lots of coffee. The coffee
come from
comes.
comes from Africa.
All right. Coffee, liquid form, uncountable. Always take singular verb. Okay. How about in number 10? Mm, a lot of biscuits.
There were
All right. There were a
there
lot
were a lot of big
biscuits.
biscuits in the
Cupboard.
combo.
Actually, there's also difference. Okay. So when we talk about biscuits, that's bangkwi, right? Bangkwi. Biscuits, that is British English. But in American English, when we talk about biscuits, they are really referring into bangkwi, the cookies. Okay? Because in American English, biscuits is another type of bread. But in British English, when you say, oh, that's a very delicious biscuit. So when we say biscuit in British English, they are referring into the cookie. Okay, so in here also, what we're going to do next is this. You're going to listen and then you need to put the correct answer. So take note, you're just going to choose between the use of much or many. Okay, are you ready to listen?
Yes.
Okay.
Unit 3, 3.1. We haven't got much coffee.
1. There weren't many cars in the car park. 2.
Do you get much snow in your country?
3. I don't need much money. 4.
Did many people go swimming yesterday?
5. There aren't many things to do here. 6.
Do they speak French?
No, not much. 7.
They didn't eat much cake.
8. There aren't many trees in this park. 9.
Did your teacher give you much advice about the exam?
10. I can't see many boats on the sea. You
Sushi, do you want to listen again or you're ready? One more?
One more.
Yes.
Yes? Okay, no worries.
Unit 3.
I'll make it bigger.
3.1.
We haven't got much coffee.
1. There weren't many cars in the car park. 2.
Do you get much snow in your country?
3. I don't need much money. 4.
Did many people go swimming yesterday?
5. There aren't many things to do here. 6.
Do they speak French?
No, not much. 7.
They didn't eat much cake.
8. There aren't many trees in this park. 9.
Did your teacher give you much advice about the exam?
10. I can't see many boats on the sea.
Okay, so take note again, Sushi, that we use much if we are referring into uncountable nouns. What are the uncountable nouns? Liquids and gases, abstract ideas, anything that we eat in small parts, material. Okay. On the other hand, countable nouns are simply the something that we can count. Okay, you can count by simply counting them in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, like that one. So countable. So in here, we are going to answer the following: much or many. So in our example, we haven't got much coffee. We use much, uncountable, because coffee is liquid, right? So now, how about in number 2? There weren't, what are you going to use? Much or many?
Many.
Many. Why many?
Grass. Cars.
Cars are,
Cars car park.
count.
Tại sao lại sử dụng
The cars are
đến được?
countable.
Ừ.
Okay, all right, good. There weren't many cars. Or how about in number 2?
Do you get much veg now
Snow.
in your
Country.
country?
Snow. Snow, right? So snow referring into some sort of weather. That is uncountable. How about in number 3?
I don't need much money.
I need a lot of money. Okay. I don't need much money. All right. Much. How about in number 4?
It it many people go swimming yesterday.
All right. What? Correct. Why did you answer many?
Why?
Uh,
Because
countable.
because
Because People.
People. Countable.
Yeah, that is countable, right? That is the plural form of. What is the singular form? What is the singular form of people?
Mhm.
So if it's many, we say people. How about if it's only one? What do you call? Per.
Bilang people mulai.
Uh,
That is irregular verb, right? Change in spelling. Like child. Uh, is it sonyu? Sonyu is children.
News plus person.
Okay. So we have here the plural form people. What is the singular form of people? Per
person.
person. Okay, good. How about in this one? Let's move into number. What number are we? Sorry. Now let's move into number 5.
There aren't many things to do here.
All right, not correct. Number 6.
Do they speak French? No, no, not much.
Correct. Referring into the French, the language, meaning it's abstract, right? You cannot touch the language, you cannot see it, right? So that is an abstract idea. How about in number 7?
They did didn't didn't
Eat.
eat much cake.
Correct. Why much?
Why must
Cake is uh, uncountable.
All right, good. Because they are eaten in very small parts, right? We are using a spoon to eat, meaning we're eating it little by little. We don't just have a cake and put everything in our mouth, right? So we eat that in small parts. Bread, cake. All right. So in here, how about in number 8?
This there
There aren't.
there and there aren't many trees in this park.
All right, many trees in this park. Countable. The trees are countable. How about in number 9?
If your dish grave, you
Did your teacher give you
you much advice,
much advice
but
about the
about the system.
this one is take a look, followed by a vowel sound. So about the exam. All right, about the exam. Maybe you're wondering, Miss Chow, what do you mean by advice in this part? All right. So in this context, when we say advice, it has something to do with suggestion. Is it loiquien? Is that how you say it? So this one is advice or suggestions. All right. So that's the same in English. Suggestions to a person of what he or she should do. All right. So that is this one, loiquien. This one. That is advice in English. All right. This one. There you go. Advice or suggestion. How about in number 10?
I cannot see many
Boats?
boats on the sea.
All right. I cannot see many boats on the sea. All right. Because boats are countable. Okay, perfect. Not bad. Good job. So with this one, all right, so that's the highlight of our lesson for this evening, the use of the quantifiers, okay? So much, many, a lot of, a few, a little. So there are things to consider. So take a look. So when do we use much and many? All right, they are both used referring into, take a look at this one. Much and many whenever you are referring into a number of, right? So in this one, in negative sentences and questions, on this one, a lot of or lots of mean to a large quantity, a little and a few to mean a small quantity. So I'll be giving you a summary of this one with lighter English. I will send it to you after the meeting so you can still review this part, because this the words used in here are very hard to understand. So I'll be giving you a simpler translation later. So for your homework, what you're going to do is you're going to write questions with you and much or many. With you, like this one, spend time on the internet. With you, now it's going to be direct question. Do you spend much time on the internet? So we're going to use much because time is abstract. We cannot see or we cannot touch. That is an abstract idea. So you're going to make use of a question like this one. Can you count football? Can you count cousin, homework, so on and so forth? And then after that, you're going to rewrite negative sentences as affirmative and affirmative sentences as negative. So meaning if the sentence is in negative form, you're going to make them in positive form. See, they haven't got many books. So you're going to make them positive. Haven't, it becomes they've got a lot of books. Now, if the sentence is positive, on the other hand, there's a lot of work to do. There is. Make that in negative form. Now, it became there isn't much work to do. Okay? So you're just going to analyze from numbers 1 to 9, and then in here you're going to use a few, a little, or a lot of for number 6. Quantifiers and pronouns. Okay. So after that, for next meeting, we're going to have listening conversation with this. So we are going to finish this quantifiers first before we talk about this one. Too much, too many, and enough. All right. We're just focusing first in this one. This one first. Okay, Sushi?
Okay.
All right. So sadly, we don't have much time, but don't worry. It's the time for you to eat your delicious dinner with mom. Okay. So do you have any questions for teacher?
No.
No question. All right. So again, for this meeting, that's gonna be all for quantifiers. I'll be sending you material so you can prepare in advance. Okay. So I'll also going to prepare an example with conversation. I want us to have a dialogue next meeting. I want that you and I are practicing conversation too. Okay, Sushi?
Okay.
So that's gonna be all for this evening. Thank you for joining our class for this evening, Tambiet, and see you next Thursday. Goodbye, Sushi.
Goodbye, teacher.
Enjoy your dinner. Have a good night.